content creator series, where today we are talking about blogging with a B. And this is a collaboration that I'm doing with some girls in my Geeks and Beauties group. I got Mickey from Nerdily Blog, I have Cassie from Southeast by Midwest, and I have Cassandra Morgan. I cannot remember what her blog name is, but I'll have that down below as well. And along with all of their collab posts will be all there also. And so all of us have gotten together to really like cover some things that you might want to know if you want to start a blog or to sustain a blog. Now this is going to be part 1 of 2 when it comes to blogging, maybe 3. Where in this video we're just going to talk about like stuff to remember when setting up, what you should look for. In the second part of the video we're probably going to talk about SEO and how to better market your blog, which is something that I'm always looking for. But Marshall has done all the research on this, so it's all on him.
There's a lot of research to be done. And really when you're talking about a blog is 2 kinds of different things. One, it's your opinions on things, all kind of listed off. 2, it could be your life. So when you are dealing with making a blog for the very first time, starting it up, you need to figure out what it is you want to do and focus, okay? You have to find something that you are passionate about or that you're knowledgeable about and just work around that. Now, if that starts to morph over time, like we've been saying with our YouTube series, it happens. But keeping that focus throughout will help you in maintaining not only your own drive to continue working, but will keep people watching. And also, I do want to bring up that just because you might be a YouTuber doesn't mean you can't also be a blogger. Many times, and this is what I do, I blogged a lot for like a long time actually, and I don't know, it was something about the writing of it just didn't shift in my head correctly. I can do it when I want to, and a lot of times what I'm going to do now, or what I'm starting to do, is take my YouTube videos and enhance them in a different way. Like for example, I have a hair straightener video that's coming, that is already out by the time this video is up, but what I did was the video and then I took some pictures and then I put them all into a blog post. The reason why you're going to want to do that maybe is because of SEO, and we are going to talk about that later, but that's just a point to make, to say that if you are a YouTuber, you can also use a blog to enhance your brand, which we also talk about. I will leave the playlist for everything down below. But to enhance your brand, what you're about, all of your press kit, all that information can go on your website, but you can also have a blog as part of it. So there's a lot of different things you can do. We'll talk about that. And that actually kind of brings into the next point about starting it up, is your blog should have a call to action. The blog itself and the posts should each have a discrete, you want them to do this with your opinion or with your life story. And that could just be, go watch my YouTube.
It could be comment below.
It could be, but you need to give them something that they need to do. Like has been said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The best way to make it drink, put their nose in it.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to tell them what to do. If it's, I'm showing you this product, go buy it, you have to give them a link in order to go.
Yeah, exactly. And be consistent, not only in style and in post length, but in your schedule. Posting frequently with a blog really does help it, not just in SEO, but by constantly having content that people will be going to. It's not like YouTube, where the amount that people watch it will make it go up and down in popularity. Having more is more.
I would like to maybe talk a little bit before we go into the other points that he has about doing the blog, is what things that we discovered when we were doing my blog. I know that some of the other ladies are going to touch on like what's the best one to use and servers and whatnot, but I'm going to tell you what I use, or what we use personally. Marshall was the one who helped me set up the blog. So originally, way back in the day, I started on Blogspot, and then I moved to WordPress, not self-hosted. Then I moved to, there was another company.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's similar to Squarespace. I can't remember the name of it. I'll try to remember the name of it. There was another one I used, and it was fine. Weebly. It was Weebly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used Weebly for a little while, and it was great to set up, but it had a little weird glitches. And because I was using the Weebly site, the SEO was not great. So I ended up going back to WordPress, but doing self-hosted. And what that means is that you find a server that you can pay to put your website on. You pay for the domain, and then you have a WordPress is the engine that makes it all run. For our server, we use
Fat Cow.
And Fat Cow, the reason why we decided to use that was actually interesting.
It's not only is it a little cheaper compared to some other ones, it gives you lots of bandwidth to work with. It's unlimited storage, and they're green powered. They're actually powered by wind, and that can mean a lot. But when we're getting into what host you choose, that actually does affect your SEO. And we're going to be getting into that a lot more in our SEO video, because we've got a few other suggestions, and you're going to see a lot more in the hosting video down below.
And so like we said, we use Fat Cow. We bought our domain off of GoDaddy, or how do we buy it?
Actually, we had bought a different domain off of GoDaddy and had moved it over to Fat Cow. And then we had started up with your new line of blogs with Fat Cow.
I think we talked about this a little bit in our branding video too, but when you're looking for a name for your website, you want to make sure that it matches all of your social media as well. But a little trick that we found out about because we're trying to start our own business right now, something completely different, which you guys will find out about when we're closer to launching. But when you are looking for a name for your website, it is very important that you do preparation ahead of time to get the name before someone else does. Can you explain why?
Actually, I'm going to be getting into that a whole lot more in our SEO video.
Okay. Yeah. So make sure you watch the SEO to find out
because we've got some stories to go there.
Yeah, we got some kind of do. So once you have your server site, once you have your domain name and you've chosen what site you want to be on, the next is to basically set up your stuff. So you want to make sure you have logos, graphics, branding. If you need help with branding, contact us down below, contact Marshall. He will work with you on that if you're interested in starting your blog. All that information will be down below for you. But if you have all that stuff together before you start, you're going to have a much easier time setting your stuff up.
And also do remember, you're going to make a little bit of money if you use Google Ads. A little bit of a note on that though. There is one thing that I've seen a lot with blogs, especially professional blogs, where they will have an ad that will completely cover the screen and it will pop up immediately after. So you don't even get to look at the blog until you look at their ad. And that annoys me.
Yeah, actually, in WordPress, when I use it, you can tell it where to put the ad. Actually, I think you can do it through the Google Ads, and I haven't done it in a really long time, but like it'll just come standard with like a template kind of. So when you put your blog post in it, you can say, okay, I want an ad to be like on the sidebar so that like as it goes up, there's this ad. And then you can have your ad be at the end of your blog post so that if they're scrolling through all of your blogs, there'll be one there. That's what I chose to do. Like you said, you can do it in different ways. I just don't like to bombard my readers and stuff with all the ads. I just think that's not why they're coming, and I don't want to annoy them away. So I just kind of put it in unobtrusive places to make it a little bit more easier.
Everybody assumes you're going to have ads.
Yeah.
It's how business runs. But nobody wants to have it interrupt their experience. And nobody wants to have that be the only thing they see. So just be thoughtful about that.
Especially if you're already reviewing a product, that's an ad in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So just be careful with that. Like, lots of ads, no.
Okay, so you've got your host, you've got your domain name, you've got all your graphics, and again, we would actually still recommend WordPress. It's got some of the best SEO and theme building tools. Very easy to use, especially because you can just kind of go through and look through their library of themes and be like, I like that one.
Self-hosted WordPress, not
self-hosted.
You want WordPress.org. That's the one that's self-hosted, not WordPress.com. You don't want the one that says WordPress.com/your name. You want your domain, which I believe is found under WordPress.org. It's a little confusing. I think Cassie is going to cover this topic.
Yes, exactly. So now that you've gotten all that put together, you're starting to actually make your posts, and you've got your themes and everything. How to write them? That's a big question, and I'm going to tell you this, keep it simple. When people are going to your blog, they're not wanting to just read War and Peace. They want your opinions and then they want to be able to move on with their life.
They want to browse too. You know, they want to be able to be like, okay, bullet points, what do I need to know? That kind of a thing. Pictures, you know, exactly. You just don't want it to be a lot. You want it to be condensed. People read like Instagram review blogs because it's short and sweet. It's like this much. You don't have to read that much. Same with your blogs. Now, granted, you know, more words equals more SEO. I think it's better to have the words that matter for your SEO, not more of them, if that makes sense.
Good guidelines to work with. Don't write less than 300 words, but don't write more than 1,000 words.
Marshall actually writes for a blog right now, right?
Yes, I've actually been doing a lot of writing for Bubble Blogger, which focuses on animation a lot. And I've been their anime reviewer, so I've been making sure to go around 500, 600 words. If I get into 700, 800, I don't mind. But if I'm writing less than 500 words, I kind of feel like I haven't done enough work. Because of that, you also want to take a quick look after you've made your post. Look at it and make sure that it all fits on one screen, because nobody wants to scroll. In fact, about 60% of people, most people won't even read more than 60% of what you wrote.
That also brings a good point that a lot of people are reading this on their phone. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that it's mobile optimized, that you want to pull up your blog on your phone, and you want to make sure that you can scroll it. Now, what he's talking about when he has your blog on one page, that does not count mobile. One page on a computer, because obviously mobile is smaller. So you need to be able to make sure that your blog page or web page is scrollable so that it fits on the screen upright, okay?
People are a little bit more used to scrolling on mobile.
Yeah, they're fine with that.
Because of that, you also want to make sure you have what is very commonly known on the internet as TLDR. Too long, didn't read summaries. When you get down towards the end of what you're saying, rephrase your entire opinion of what happened. If you're doing a summary of something, don't re-summarize everything, just give your opinion. That's what they were there for in the first place. And if you do end up having a longer post, make sure you break it up with subheadings. Next tip, be responsive. So when you are starting this up, people do have the ability to comment on what you're doing, and because of that, you want to be able to start asking them, what is it you want me to do next? What do you think of this? So that you can start to build a community of people that will constantly come back.
It's also really important while you're doing this too, to think about what it is you want to read about and then write about it. So if you can't find these things on the internet, like there's something that you're like, I was looking on the internet and I can't find this. So then do your research and do it. And then that means that people probably are going to be looking for you. It's a little bit different than YouTube SEO. Again, we're going to go into SEO. This is like a huge thing, SEO, so we want to make sure we have an entire video. But it's a little bit different because in YouTube, people find you by looking at suggested videos, and that's what we've learned. Whereas in blogging, people find you by looking on Google, although they can also find your YouTube that way. And they find you looking on Google, and if there's not a lot of people that have what you're talking about and someone searches it, yours is going to come up.
Yep.
So that's just something to keep in mind. When people tell you in your comments, I've been looking for X, consider doing it. Consider being that person who does that blog post about that topic.
And also consider that when you're trying to put together a lot of your subjects, make things that people can talk about. When they start having more conversations, especially thoughtful conversations in your comments, and you start engaging with them on that, that can make it so that you are more personal with your followers, and they start caring a lot more about your opinion and will start reading more and constantly coming back. In fact, there was a really popular webcomic called Homestuck Heroes, I believe it was, where for a good long time, his story was entirely based off of what his people said that they wanted to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and all of their little fan theories all kind of got woven into the story as they went. Giveaways. Giveaways is a really great way to keep people coming back. You know a lot about giveaways. Talk to us about it.
So giveaways, if you're going to do a giveaway, please make sure that you look up the terms of service, your current laws in the country you live in as to what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. YouTube has the same thing. I have not looked up the terms of service in a little while. However, I also recommend that you cross-promote your giveaway on your blog that you might be doing on Instagram or on YouTube, and vice versa. If you're doing a blog one, make sure you talk about it in your other places. The other thing you're gonna wanna do is use Gleam or Rafflecopter to have entries done. This keeps it very above board, very like not rigged, and give clear guidelines as to what you're going to be doing for the giveaway. Be like, this is what I'm giving away, this is what you're gonna have to do to enter, this is what you're gonna do to get bonus entries, and people will click the link. I just prefer to use Gleam because I feel like it's easier on the people who enter than Rafflecopter when you have to go to other sites like Twitter and Instagram to enter. When you use Rafflecopter, you actually have to click a button and share it, and then you have to click a link to get something else in order to put it in the Rafflecopter. Whereas when you do it in Gleam, you click one link and it does it for you. So that's kind of why I just decided to use Gleam. However, the thing that I don't like about Gleam is a lot of the things that you were going to be using as entries is in the pro version and not the free version. So sometimes you have to be a little creative with how you get people to enter using Gleam or Rafflecopter, but that's fine. Super easy. So you just have the link, they click on it. I don't even know that you can say, you know, must be subscribed to the blog, but you can say, you know, maybe you should be subscribed to my email newsletter or something like that. And then you have them do their entries, you have it for a certain amount of time, and then when you're ready to pick a winner, you can pick a winner, look at it, and be like, okay, do these people meet my terms of agreement? Like, if your giveaway is only in the US, do they live in the US? Did they do these other things I said they needed to do? If not, nope, you pick another winner. Then you post the winner in the widget, which is really awesome because that way, everyone who comes to your blog will know the giveaway has ended, I've already picked a winner. Then you can go in and, well, I would contact the person first before you tell them that they won, because if they don't contact you in a good amount of time, then you need to repick the winner, okay? So it's very similar to how you do on YouTube, but I just prefer to use the widget on Gleam because it picks it for you automatically.
And since it's an outside service that's doing the picking for you, it, like she said, it's a little bit more above board.
Exactly.
Okay, my very last point. Plan to invest a lot of time before you get anything back.
It's so true. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I gave up blogging for a little amount of time, is because I really wanted to focus on my YouTube. YouTube already is so time consuming because you have to gather the stuff, and then you have to do the videos, and then you have to do the thumbnails and edit and upload and put everything in the description box and blah blah blah. So for me, YouTube just took up a lot of time, but now I think I'm ready to go in and like actually start doing the blog a little bit more. My blog has been set up for years, so I'm just ready to utilize it, make some tweaks, and go right back into it. But you do have to invest time to get it to the place where it's just, okay, this is what I'm doing. You know, get your routine down. I highly recommend being organized and planning. We have a planning video. I can link that down below for you on how I use planners to plan what I'm doing for the week for my content creation. So you could probably check that out. The stuff for YouTube is pretty much the same as for blogging when it comes to organization.
And remember, this time that you're spending where you're not really getting anything back from it necessarily is a great time to start ironing out your process of how to do it well. This is your practice period. It could be 2 years before you even get 1,000 followers. But by the time you get those 1,000 followers, you've worked hard on making sure your process is as great as possible, so you can always give as many people as much as they want.
Nothing in life that comes easy is worth having, really. And I don't have a lot of followers on my blog. I just hit 1,000 on my YouTube. I'm not interested in building a lot of numbers, although lately I've just kind of been like, I'm hitting a rut. But what I am saying is I know I'm helping people. I know that what we're doing is inevitably making people be better at what they're doing. They're taking their stuff, they're taking what we're saying, and they're kind of doing their own thing and having their own journey and their own experiences so they can learn just as well. So I'm not necessarily in this to make money. I'd have a full-time job, but you know, there's a certain type A part of me that's like, I need to be better. I need to make more, you know. for me, it's a hard thing to grasp sometimes. But I think it's an important lesson that everybody who does this needs to learn, is that it's more about being quality than quantity. And if you only have to put one blog post up a week, just do one and make it good. And that's all you need. Because in the blogging world, it stays out there forever. And you'll just continue to accumulate readers if it's something that's a timely topic and something that people are looking for.
Yep. And this brings us right back to point number 1. Do something you're passionate about. Do something you're knowledgeable about. And do something that's timeless. If you are doing something that really has value, it's going to be there forever, and people are going to constantly be looking back for it.
Also, watch our Makeup and a Movie on Timeless. I will link that below. I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead. Link that down below, because people are going to want to see that.
That's right. All right, you got anything else?
I have nothing else.
All right, make sure you stay tuned for part 2, which will be all about SEO and how do you market and how do you get people to actually come and read your stuff. And check out all the ladies that are doing this collab with me down below. Thank you so much. If you want to be a part of a collab with me about topics like this, make sure you comment and let me know, because I'm looking for people. I want to do some Instagram, some Snapchat, some Twitter, other things like that, Pinterest. So let me know if you want to be with me. Until next time,
Stay zany.
bye-bye.